Hello, it's now the start of 2021 and time to get back into guitar practice. Did you have a break from guitar playing throughout the Christmas and New Year period? I always like to have a couple of breaks from playing in the year, and one of these times is between Christmas and New Year. I find that having a break refreshes everything and gives me new ideas to work on. One downside of having a break from playing is losing hand strength. Legato ideas such as the lick you've just heard are a great way to quickly get your left hand back into full strength. So even when using a pick, a weak left hand will have a big impact on the clarity and execution of any single note lines that you play. So in this video, I will break down the A major pentatonic scale lick into separate phrases, which will in turn give you many new sequences that you can add to your repertoire of ideas. Make sure you check out next week's video too, as I will use the ideas from this video and add the right hand to create some interesting finger tapping licks. Today's lick consists of a 10-note sequence repeated throughout the scale. I'll add a link to the guitar tab for today's idea in the video description, as being able to see each bar individually will make breaking this lick down so much easier. So I love sequences that don't use the usual groups of 3 or 4 notes, as they always create interesting phrases. I'm going to break this lick down into individual bars. So this 10-note sequence consists of 2 separate parts. The first part is I'm going to play frets 7, 9, 7, 5, all with hammer-ons and pull-offs. So I hammer fret 7, hammer 9, pull off to 7, pull off to 5. So we get this. The second section is I'm going to literally just play frets 9 and 5. So hammer to 9, pull off to 5. And then I'm going to simply play the first part again, which is the 7, 9, 7, 5. If I put all that together, I get my 10 notes. I'm then going to simply play this on every string following the A major scale pattern. So on the next string it's going to be frets 7, 10 and 7, 5. So we get this. Now because we have 10 notes, if you play one bar of semiquavers, we need to select 16 notes to fill up one bar. So if I play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, we have a 16 note sequence. I can then repeat this. Okay, so if we do that twice, you now have a new sequence that you could apply to other parts of the scale and get some new licks. Moving on to the next bar, I'm going to start where I left off on the previous bar, as in I've got 4 notes left to play on my B string. So we get this. Then going to move on to the G string, which is going to be frets 4, 6 and 9. Going to play the complete 10-note sequence. So we get this. To make up the 16 notes to fill a bar, I need 2 more notes. So I'm going to play 2 notes on the next string from the sequence, which is frets 7 and 9. So the whole thing now we have is this. We can then repeat this round and round to get a new sequence. And so on. If you get up to speed, you have another lick. So for the next bar, I'm going to once again start where I left off on the previous bar. Now I've already played 2 notes of the sequence on the D string. So I'm going to start from the 3rd note of the sequence on the D string. That's what we have left. And I'm going to move on to the A string and again start the sequence again. But I'm only going to play 16 notes altogether, so the entire thing is this, which you can then loop round and round. And you have a new sequence that you could apply to other parts of the scale. For the next bar, I'm going to once again start where I left off on the previous bar. So I have 2 notes left to play in this sequence on my A string, frets 7 and 4. Now I'm going to play the entire sequence on the low E string, which is frets 5, 7 and 9. I'm going to go back to the A string again and play enough notes so I have 16 notes to fill up this bar. So the pattern is now this. So again, if you loop that round and round, you have a nice little sequence that you can play on other parts of the scale. Moving on to the next bar, I'm going to again start where I left off from the previous bar, which is frets 9 and 4 on my A string. And then I get the entire sequence on the D string. So I put that together. Now moving this on to other strings. I'm starting on an F sharp note with my little finger. I could take this sequence and then find an F sharp, say my G string. So if I did the same pattern on here, then move on to the B string. So we get this. And then you can just move this around the fingerboard and you will find lots and lots of different ways of playing this. When you reach the next bar, you're actually back to the original pattern starting on your second finger. Because there are 10 notes played on every single string, everything's displaced, and it's not until here that we actually get back to the start again. So I'm going to play the original pattern, and then I need to move on to my B string and play enough notes to fill up the bar, so we get this. So we put that together, loop that around a couple of times. And the final bar, I have 4 notes left on my B string. And I'm going to go to my high E string and play the complete sequence, followed by just 2 more notes if I started the whole thing again. Makes up my 16 notes for the bar. So the whole thing here is this. Which again you can move, as all of these bars you can move to other parts of the scale. So now I'm going to play through the whole thing slowly so you can hear it all together. When you're learning anything like this, it really does help to think about each individual bar so you can actually know where you are when you're playing the lick. So here we go. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to check out next week's video that will add right-hand finger tapping to the ideas that you've just learnt. If you did enjoy today's video, then please hit the like and subscribe buttons so you don't miss out on future videos. Your support is greatly appreciated. So bye for now.